Alright, so how do we want to introduce this? Alright, so today we are going to be looking at a video by Girl Defined. Now, for those of you who may not know, Girl Defined consists of these two sisters that talk about religious stuff specifically for Christian girls. Basically, people have reacted to these guys all over the internet, and it's clear to see why, because they're kind of cringe. I mean, I'd like to say that we both respect people's beliefs for the most part, just so long as they don't force it down our throats.
We would like to say that.
Alright, so this video that we're going to look at is called 6 Guys You Shouldn't Date, Court, or Marry. Now, this is actually on a channel called Girl Deleted, so I'm thinking that the actual channel deleted the original video for some reason.
Well, I guess they decided that maybe you can date, court, or marry some of these guys.
Maybe, or maybe they just got a lot of shit for this.
Hey girls, it's Kristen and Bethany here with Girl Defined Ministries, and in today's vlog we want to share with you 6 guys you shouldn't date, court, or marry.
Court is very, 1800s.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, we're courting.
Is that your impression of an older person?
I don't know, I don't know, it seems a very old-fashioned...
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's a British thing, I don't know.
I remember being a young girl and kind of thinking that every guy was probably pretty much amazing and thinking that, oh, when I grow up, it'll be, kind of easy to find an awesome godly guy. Then I hit 18, 19, 20 and realized, you know what? There are a lot of really awesome godly guys out there, but there are also a lot that are just not quite so awesome.
Yeah, that's usually what growing up does. Once your hormones balance, you start realizing that, hey, maybe just because somebody's attractive, it doesn't automatically mean that they're an awesome person.
And I have learned, we both had learned, from back in the old days, back when you were young.
How old are these people? They look maybe they're oh, back in my younger days. And it's well, you don't look that old. The one on the right looks maybe 30. The one on the left looks younger, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There are certain types of guys that I do not want to date, court, or marry, and we want to tell you about these 6 guys that you shouldn't date, court, or marry.
Yeah, specifically date guys that I say are good enough.
Okay, so guy number 1 that you shouldn't date, court, or marry is this. Mr. Talk. He's the guy that can say he can talk the talk, but he might not necessarily be walking the walk. So for example, he might say, yeah, I love the Lord, I love going to church, I love getting involved, I love reading my Bible, but behind the scenes, he isn't actually really doing those things.
Okay, take out all of the God stuff, and I actually do agree with this. My ex was a lot like that. He said all of the right things, and then it turned out that he was a massive douche. Just because somebody might know all the right things to say, it does not mean that they're actually going to follow through on them. There are warning signs. Pay attention.
And guy number 2 is Mr. Anger. This is the guy that gets set off by really small things. It might just be driving in a car and someone just barely comes in his other lane and he gets blows up and gets really mad.
Okay, if the person is driving and they cut you off in a way that could cause an accident, I understand somebody being angry by that. Also, it may be small to you, but it might not be small to them. That's the thing.
It depends the extent to which they blow up and everything.
And it also depends on what the issue is as well.
Yes.
For the record, I'm not saying that you should stay with somebody who has serious anger issues, because obviously you don't want to subject yourself to that, because there is a risk of them turning violent. And keep in mind, if you're dating somebody and you're only seeing them that one time, and that one time they happen to have a massive anger episode, chances are they probably could have been holding something in for a while and something just exploded. Everybody has moments of anger. Even the most calm people can get angry. This is why you don't bottle your shit up. Men are allowed to express emotions.
I would caution you, be very, very careful with a guy like that. We have known some like that, and I personally would never date, court, or marry a Mr. Anger, and I would encourage you not to either.
They seem very smarmy about this too. It's I encourage you not to do that either. Once again, you don't know why they're angry. Second of all, you don't know if maybe that anger stuff could be just a once-in-a-while thing. And 3, just because something is small to you, it does not mean that it's small to them. Yes, obviously there are times in which somebody blows off over every little thing. Yeah, those people are probably somebody to be okay, maybe not. But even then, you should encourage them to maybe get some help. And then run for the hills.
Seek counseling.
Yes, it helps. You just got to find the right counselor.
And guy number 3 that you definitely shouldn't date, court, or marry is Mr. Struggle. Now, we all have our struggles in life, right? But we're talking about here with Mr. Struggle is a guy who's struggling with big things. And he always says, I'm trying. I'll do better next time. I promise I'm going to overcome this sin. I promise I'm going to get better in this area.
So don't date anybody that has any struggle with something whatsoever, because automatically they're beyond help.
I'm curious to see what they define as big struggle.
But as his track record continues, he never actually overcomes those struggles. So for example, maybe pornography, maybe irresponsible spending, maybe just not getting places on time ever, or really managing the relationships in his life or his responsibilities very well.
Okay, first of all, being late to stuff, that can be fixed. And stuff like pornography, like, yeah, if it's consuming the whole of their lives, then yeah, maybe say, hey, can we talk about this? I think you're getting a little too obsessed with it. But like, pornography is not inherently a bad thing. Maybe this is something that they have been working on and they've been getting better.
If people have issues like, being late all the time and spending too much money and having difficulty managing things, there are ways to help them that don't involve, just being like, oh, well, you suck at that, so, goodbye. Like, if you actually want to be with them, try and help them with that, because there are, ways to go about helping people with that. But if they don't put any effort in to trying to improve themselves, and all they do is excuses, then yeah, that's the point at which you should probably leave.
Yeah, exactly. Also, you never know what kind of relationships that he's a part of and why he's not managing them well, so don't be so quick to judge. Because I know people that have terrible relationships with family members, but usually it's because those particular family members are just trash.
Because if you're the only accountability partner in this guy's life, if he's saying, I'm struggling, but I'm going to get over it, can you just help me? You need to help me. That is not a good setup. This guy, if he's serious about overcoming his sin, he's going to make the steps and take the steps to go find an older, godlier man in his church who can hold him accountable and really get serious about helping him overcome his struggles.
Yeah, so don't be the one to help him. He has to go and find a guy at church to help him. Like, I agree, like, you shouldn't be the only person holding this person accountable. Like, if they're surrounded by people that are just telling him, it's okay that you do that shit, and it's not, then, yeah, maybe they need to rethink their surroundings. But to say, if they really want help, then they're gonna go find somebody else. It's like, that is a complete slap in the face to anybody trying to help their partner out.
I'm gonna watch you struggle and then recommend that you go talk to the priest.
The priest is waiting for you.
And number 4 is Mr. Obsessed. And now I've been around guys who are like pretty much obsessed with me. They are, I'm basically like the most important thing in their entire world. And you know what? Honestly, it is kind of flattering. Yeah. And of course, it's not wrong to be loved and cherished, but we're talking about a guy who is literally obsessed with you. Like, you are even more important than God.
Here's the thing, like, it's one thing if a person is, like, completely obsessed with you to the point where they're not allowing you to have any friends, like, no male friends. You can't be in contact with any male family members or whatever because they have severe jealousy issues. Like, if you had some of those jealousy issues, I probably wouldn't be allowed to have any friends whatsoever.
I'm sorry, Kaylah. You can't be friends with people of the genders that you're attracted to.
Damn it, I'm gonna be alone.
But you have me.
Like, I understand if it's, like, somebody that's that crazily obsessed, but if it's just somebody that just is dedicated to you and devoted to you, and maybe they're not super...
religious?
Exactly. That's not a bad thing. We need a little bit more moderation in terms of religion, because, like, there are positive aspects to religion. It's just a lot of the people tend to take it to extremes, and that's usually the issues that people like us have issues with.
You basically, as the girl, become the god of his life, and that is an idol. That is totally out of order. God needs to be the most important person in his life.
You look like you want to...
It's I'm not religious, and it just seems really cringy to me.
Yeah.
If you are around a Mr. Obsessed and you can tell that you are the most important person in his life, I would really caution you, because this is someone that I would not date, court, or marry, despite how flattering it may seem.
Do you want to be with somebody that is so obsessed with God that they pretty much ignore anything that has to do with you? Honey, can you help me with the dishes? Not right now, honey. I'm reading the Bible.
I'm sorry you're distraught and upset right now and going through crisis, but I have to go to church. I have to go to Bible study. I know we go 3 times a week, but I can't miss this one.
And guy number 5 is Mr. Pressure. Mr. Pressure is the guy who is always putting pressure on you to do things that maybe you know you shouldn't do, areas of compromise where you're like, I'm not really sure if that's the right thing. And he's like, come on, just do it. It's not a big deal. We've talked to girls who feel that pressure in their relationship, and they actually feel like if they don't give in to what this guy wants, then he's going to leave them. And girls, that is not a healthy relationship.
Okay, I do agree with that aspect.
That's true.
He doesn't care as much about honoring God and pushing you closer to the Lord.
Okay, now you lost me.
You were going in the right direction. You know, don't pressure people, to do what they don't want to do. If it's, unhealthy and, it's not good for them.
But then...
I'm not religious, so the whole, pushing you away from God, I don't really give a shit about that.
Yeah, me neither.
And guy number 6 is Mr. Unsaved. Now, this is the type of guy. He's cute, he's gentlemanly, he's nice, he charming. Gifts.
She got really excited in that last part. Gives you gifts.
He charming. Gifts. Except one problem. He's not a Christian.
Well, your name is Christian. Does that count? Okay, my thing with this is this is why I feel like religion should not be as important in people's lives. It really should just be a basis of just trying to be a better person for some people. But if you make it the whole of your life, that's when it becomes an issue. Chances are maybe somebody may not be religious, but they're able to respect your beliefs and they're able to support you and be there for you even if they personally don't believe it. Obviously, if I were single, I probably would not be dating somebody who was religious because there would be a clash of ideas there. But even then, if people are able to have different belief systems and make it work, then that's fine. Just so long as they're not a horrible person, I don't care.
Yeah.
If he is not a Christian, the Bible makes it very clear that you should not marry him. So this is not like maybe, but he's really nice. But what if he comes to church with me? No.
Here's the thing. There are people out there who, if they are really attracted to somebody or they are devoted to somebody, they're willing to give them a chance. So to say, he says he's not a Christian, so don't date him at all. You never know.
You can convert these people.
Exactly.
I thought that's part of what a lot of the religions are about, is try to convert people to their beliefs. So.
You'd think.
There is no compromising here. This is an automatic no. And the Bible makes that very, very clear.
So you only date people that believe all of the things that you believe. What if they are a Christian, but they are a different sect or a different denomination?
There's 1.5 minutes left in this video. What the hell?
In these situations, the 6 guys we just mentioned, it might be wise to break off the relationship or seek some really wise outside counsel.
An older, godly man.
What about a woman?
You have to seek counsel from an older, godly man.
Okay, well, that was something. Any final thoughts?
Some of the stuff that they talk about seems like common sense. Don't date people that are hypocrites. Don't date people that want to take advantage of you. Don't date people that want to force you to do things that you don't want to do. Don't date people that are, crazy jealous and obsessed.
Don't date people that are just set in their ways and not willing to change whatsoever.
Yeah. The last one that's don't date religious people, or
don't date
people that are not of the same religion as you. You could translate that to don't date people who don't have the same core beliefs as you or the same core values as you, which does make sense from a certain perspective.
But they're not talking about that specifically.
They're not specifically talking about core beliefs and core values.
They're specifically talking about, does he Bible thump? That no?
Then dump him!
Alright. Children yelling.